Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing an updated video on Alpha with Devourer Demon Hunter. There is a huge amount of changes this week for Devourer Demon Hunter. Well, not really huge, but most of the ones that I've been hoping they would solve for Devourer Demon Hunter. So I wanted to make a Devourer Demon Hunter video update. If you want to see my first impressions, I have that video up already. But we're just going to go over the new stuff this week. So let's start off with the talents. One of the first things first is focused ire, and our primary target is stunned for an additional 2 seconds, so extra little bit longer on CC, which is always going to be nice because we only have like 3 CC right now, and that is our stun, which you just saw me use, imprison, and fear. We don't have fell eruption anymore, so that's pretty much our CCs for now. Although I know they did nerf CC for PvP, so they are trying to nerf CC a little bit more for PvP right now. So I do understand that, but yeah. Focused Ire, new talent, extra little bit longer on CC, which will be nice. I think this will be nice to, I feel like the combo to get a collapsing star is most likely going to be, like once you get into your meta here, and you have the talent for an insta collapsing star, you'll probably want to get a trinket first before you use your meta. So you'll stun, they'll probably trinket, and then you can drop a fear or an imprison, for example, and then you can pop a collapsing star. I feel like that's probably what's going to be the go for your collapsing star, because while you can use the PvP talents that you can't be interrupted, like nobody's just going to let you use it. I think they would just stun you, fear you, stuff like that. So you're probably just gonna want to get some CC out before you use that collapsing star. Anyways, that's the new talent focused R, the first new one. Now for the second new one, one of my biggest complaints with not with Havoc, with Devour Demon Hunter was defenses. I did some duels with Level Den on stream like 3 days ago. This was before actually it might have been 4 days ago. It doesn't matter. I did it last week before the changes this week, and Devour Demon Hunter was pretty bad. Awful was like it had no defenses. Damage is damage. Their damage was pretty bad, but tuning is down the line, so I'm not really worried about that. But their defenses was pretty awful. They had the insane mobility between shift and all that, and vengeful retreats, and you can go catch up with somebody and stun them like this, stuff like that. Their mobility is crazy. But defensive wise was a complete joke. Like there was like no self-healing. The defenses were so bad, like it didn't even matter. And yeah, this biggest complaint was defenses. So this week they gave us 2 charges of blur, which is actually pretty nice, pretty good start. Can't really complain about that. 2 blurs is nice. For those that don't know, the dodge chance of blur was removed, so you won't be able to evasion tank a melee anymore. So your blur is basically now changed to reduces all damage taken by 25% for 10 seconds. So it's pretty much good against anything now. But yeah, there's no evasion or nothing right now. So you just have to pretty much use it as like just to reduce damage taken. Pretty much that's basically it. But it shouldn't be really that much of an issue because, like I said, you got all this hiding with shift and all that, but we'll have to see as time goes on, as there's not really much PvP testing currently going on right now. I will say that probably more during beta, but yeah, overall, I think this is a nice change. Do keep in mind this is also in the general tree, so I believe Havoc should get this as well. But yeah, I think this is a really nice change, and Demon Hunter in general, or at least Devourer. I'm going to speak for Devourer. I won't say if Havoc, but Devourer at least definitely needed some survivability buffs. So. And then some other new talents is Soul Splitter. Anytime you would generate 1 or more soul fragments, you have a 4% chance to generate an additional soul fragment, which is once again nice because one other big, huge complaint I have with Demon Hunter right now is you need all these freaking soul fragments to get into your metamorphosis. Like getting into the first metamorphosis, I guess, isn't generally bad. It takes around 35 void metamorphosis to get into your 35 soul fragments to get into a void metamorphosis. And if you play with the PvP talent, which I honestly don't know if it's going to be worth it or not, you need 50 soul fragments, which is a freaking lot. You go up to like 25 automatically over time, and then the rest you have to get yourself. And then once you have 35, you can go into metamorphosis, and then if you have the talent, which you will get eventually, it's what makes Demon Hunter good. I actually had to switch to it. You get collapsing star automatically. Outside of that, if you don't run this talent and you use it, you need another 30 fragments in order to get collapsing star. And collapsing star is going to be your hardest hitting ability. It makes sense, especially with all the freaking buildup you have to get for it. But yeah, you have to get so much fragments from it, and then you can cast another collapsing star. So your goal is to pretty much stay in meta as much as you possibly can. That is pretty much the goal. So you want to stay in meta as much as humanly possible. And I didn't get enough, or I didn't stay in meta long enough to get another collapsing star, but yeah, that's going to be pretty much the goal. In PvP, it's probably going to be a lot harder than it looks, but I don't know. But that's the goal. So you want to get as much soul fragments as possible. But yeah, you pretty much have to collect so many souls. Not only do you have to collect 35, 50 if you're on the talent to get into meta, then you have to collect another 30 to get collapsing star. And then luckily, if you run midnight, you get collapsing star automatically. I actually switched out talents just for the Apex talents because I feel like a Devourer Demon Hunter probably isn't playable without the midnight talent. It doesn't feel good without midnight. Like, they made the Apex talent midnight feel so freaking mandatory because I played without it and it felt awful. So I feel like once Devourer comes out, or like during leveling, I would recommend just switching out for the Apex talents, and then when you're done leveling, just use the rest of the talents for the normal talent tree, or the right side Devourer talent tree. That's just my experience so far. It just felt extremely mandatory. Another new talent is First In, Last Out. Shift grants you rapidly decaying shield to 6% of your maximum health. So, like I showed you before, when you use shift, you get a shield. You guys can see on the top right of my screen, it absorbs and it's going up. So, every time you use shift, you get the shield. And once again, this is an extremely powerful defensive. And not to mention, you have 3 shift charges. And obviously, I wouldn't recommend, spamming them or anything. But yeah, just having that shield combined with blur is absolutely huge. So, they really actually just did some amazing buffs this alpha pass. So, this is some pretty nice changes. Another new change is they added 2 new talents one is called Burnout. Soul Immolation removes 1 disease effect, so this is really good against, like Unholy DKs, Frost DKs. So every time you use Soul Immolation, it would get rid of the disease. So really good against Unholy and Frost DKs. And then the other one is Soul Cleanse, and this is good against anything with a curse, so Affliction Locks, stuff like that. So this is absolutely huge. So you will be really good against DKs and Affliction Locks. So you got some really, really good defensives. Those are pretty much all the defensive talents that I saw. Oh, there's one more. Demon Muzzle. Interrupting a spell with Disrupt decreases your magic damage taken by 15% for 12 seconds, which is absolutely massive. And your interrupt is now at 30 yards, I think, and there was like some talent I think I saw that increases its range. Improved disrupt increases the range. So your range is even farther. Like, look at this. Let's see how far it goes to. Our range is this far away. Is insane. So if you interrupt a caster, and then you get Demon Muzzle here, is absolutely crazy, man. It's pretty nuts. So you'll have a 15% magic damage reduction taken against casters for 12 seconds with this talent. So So 4 defensive talents has been added this patch. So I mean, you can consider I would consider the removal of curse and diseases a defensive as well, at least against that. So overall, pretty huge defensive buffs. Let me know what you guys think of the defensive buffs. So now let's go over some of the other new talents. Remorseless attacks that spend fury deal 3% increased damage. So anything that spends fury, like Void Ray, I believe will do more damage. I think that's it, because everything else kind of generates fury. So yeah, Void Ray will deal more damage with this buff. Final Breath, after channeling Void Ray, increases the damage of Final Tick by 300%. So more Void Ray damage. Furious, attacks and abilities that generate Fury deal 3% increased damage. So basically your Consume, Reap, Soul Immolation will do more damage. So they're trying to add more increased damage talents. One for Fury Spenders and one for Generate Fury. Erratic Fellheart, the cooldown of Fell Rush is reduced by 1.0 seconds. This is basically a bug, but this is supposed to reduce the cooldown of Shift as well. But yeah, so. And last but not least, Wings of Wrath. And you guys are probably wondering what this does. I actually was wondering what it does too. And allow me to show you guys what it does real quick. So basically, it makes your glide go faster. This is basically what it does. So I don't think this will be really useful for PvP. I mean, I guess I could see it being really useful, but there's no way nobody's going to use this over a second blur charge. I can tell you right now. It's just like having a second blur charge is huge. Other than that, that's pretty much all the new talents. There's a few other changes that were added as well in the notes here. Consuming a soul fragment now heals Devourer for 1% of their health. So I guess soul fragments now actually start to heal, which is nice. So that's another defensive, basically. And there is a change to the hunts. So it no longer causes you to heal for a percentage of the damage you deal to the target. So they're removing the healing effect to the hunt to reduce the number of auras applied by the hunt while focusing its design and fantasy will be resulting in changing it if necessary. But yeah, that's just another, minor change. But overall, those are all pretty much the new changes for Devourer Demon Hunter right now. I'm pretty excited for the changes. There's all of these sounds down here are so good now. Like, it's crazy. I'm definitely looking forward to all the new defensive changes. Like, they look so good right now. The only problem is that there's so many good ones that you can't get all of them, which is, I guess, a good thing. Because, I'm not even sure what you would, like, there's no way you would want to give up Demonic Resilience or Souls, like, Demonic Resilience. Like, having 2 blur charges is just too good. But, getting Demon Muzzle, he doesn't look like you have enough for that. I don't think having the reduced cooldown of Fell Rush will probably matter too much. It's only an extra 2 seconds, though. So, and I just don't think anybody will go Wings of Wrath for PvP. I just don't think so. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the changes. Let me know what you guys think of the changes, guys. I'm pretty excited for it. This is my new thoughts on the Devourer Demon Hunter for week 2. I wasn't too excited for it last week, but now I'm pretty hyped for it after messing around with it ever since the changes. I would love to do some duels, but there's just not enough people testing. Hopefully we'll get some more in the future. We will for sure. I don't know why I'm saying that, but we will for sure. Especially with the fact that once beta comes, everybody that's pre-ordered it will come in. So we'll do some stuff around that then. And yeah, we'll see how they do more Demon Hunter stuff in the future. See you guys later.